So Night Panther recorded Fire themselves. They sent us a demo along with, you know, a handful of other songs.
Compared to the original recording, we knocked up the tempo a couple of beats. We really spent a lot of time on making sure the vocal was great, spending a lot of time on the different vocal parts and, you know, just making sure that there was a progression and the song kept evolving.
We had to make decisions that would keep us from recording a song that sounded nothing like Night Panther. I felt personally attached to maintaining certain electronic aesthetics just because I really do think that that's musically the core of what they do. But it seemed that it was perhaps a little surprising to them at first.
I was imagining something just a lot more romantic, something very real, like the real strings and real everything like that.
Yeah. I mean, what I was thinking was like a Casio keyboard piano sound or a Casio keyboard, like something cheap and simple at the core of it is great. You can always add the piano on top of it,
right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Our production process might be to say, all that stuff you practiced, let's not worry about that, let's do something different, you know? And that takes people by surprise.
Yeah. If we can get it to sound somewhat sexy instead of
that's exactly
a
right.
little child, like, because I could get down with this.
But, you know, whether I was explaining myself well or not, they were like game for trusting me.
You like this?
And so we did. We sort of launched right into it.
Things are different when she's gone, and I know why.
So for this session, AEA brought along a huge collection of their microphones.
I mean, I guess what we could try is put some ribbons on the toms. If you were going for like a super thunderous sound. And we are.
If you're cool with that, then definitely, yeah.
Oh, totally. At AEA, we try to give as many people a chance to actually experience and listen to our microphones as we can. For a previous episode of Shaking Through, we had already provided microphones, which was with a band called Snowmine. And this time I actually flew out to take part in the sessions.
So the fact that we did have all these amazing tools with us and someone who just really knew how to get every ounce of like performance out of each mic was amazing.
So Minor Street Studios has this great sounding room and a killer drum kit. So over the years, Brian and John have developed this pretty cool setup for the drum kit, and we thought we'd continue with that a little bit and then add a little bit of AEA touch to that.
For overheads, we used a pair of Elam 260s with the Coles 4038. And then on the snare, it was the Telefunken M81, AKG D112 on the kick drum. And then for the rooms, instead of using our either 67 or pair of fatheads or something, we used the R88, and it sounded really good.
There are a lot of things I wouldn't have had the guts to do because I would have been afraid of these mics getting damaged. For instance, Julian suggested putting the R92 on the rack tom and the 84 on the floor tom. I would have thought that was against the rules, but he assured me it wasn't. They could totally handle it. And they're definitely massive sounding toms. I mean, massive. I was glad he was there so we could have permission to do that.
How's that mix sounding?
I could use a lot more of my voice.
All right.
With more effect, please.
Besides that.
Oh, besides that, nothing.
Okay, cool.
By far and away, the most successful aspect of the song is Farzad's singing.
One of the first things we did for vocals was just shoot out the R44 and the KU4.
These S's aren't sibilant in this? Is that just me?
What did you guys think?
Well, you sung it differently.
Yeah, it's hard for us to tell. We're trying to decide which mic to use.
Okay.
And it's, you sang it differently.
I like the sound of this one, but I like the way that I sang it in the first one.
So can you sing into the mic you like the way you want to sing right now? We'll record it again.
Okay.
I like the KU4 a little bit better, but it was a tiny bit sibilant. And I think I had that same issue when I used that mic previously on the Snowmine song.
Let me see if I can get rid of that sibilance with the position.
Okay.
Just step back just a touch.
Okay.
That might even be already too much, but we'll see.
But Julian went out there and he fixed the problem, just through placement, and it worked out just fine.
I think there's no doubt that Farzad sang better because of those microphones. It definitely yielded the best presentation of his talents and his voice and what really makes him unique. And that's the goal.
I think one part in the session that we ended up spending a lot of time on was the string and the horn parts.
I think they were interested in doing this because they wanted to have the experience of interpreting some of those electronic sounds with real instruments. Personally, I thought that was going to detract from what they do, from what I've heard of what they do and from what I've liked about what they do. Throughout the mix, the strings and the horns naturally started to move towards the background of the picture. One of the things about recording is that while you're in the tracking process, you're entirely focused on the matter at hand right in that moment. So while you're recording strings, you're really focused on making them sound as huge as you can and as pristine as you can, and you're trying to capture the best performance you can. All that has to go out the window when you get to mixing. Because if you multiply that premium times all the components of the song, they just can't fit. So mixing is always a matter of finding how the pieces of the puzzle fit together in two small tracks, left and right. But it turned out fantastic.